Hey guys, I'm Tim Langston with Red Dog Bushcraft, and today what I thought I would do is discuss how do I carry my Ferro rods from day to day. You know, your kit is only as good as what you have with you when you need it. And if there's one thing that I've learned from teaching and working with students during survival classes is if you don't have it on your body when a situation pops up, you're probably not going to have it. The concept of having big bags and kits is a good thing. It's nice if you've got it in your vehicle and you break down somewhere, but you know, if you're flying over the desert and that helicopter gets shot down and you go down, when you bail out, what you've got is what you've got on your body. Or if you're out on a hike in the woods somewhere, that kit does you absolutely no good sitting back in that vehicle if you don't have it with you when you go out. So with that in mind, let's talk about everyday carry and how do I carry my Ferro rods and what is my layer of protection. So first of all, let's talk about each day. When I get up and I put my clothes on and I'm going out for my typical day's activities, I usually have one of two things strapped on my side. One is a Leatherman tool, and if I'm not carrying the Leatherman tool, I'm carrying a knife, and that knife usually has a ferro rod attachment. If not, I'll cover that here in just a minute. But if you get the right multi-tool, they come with a case that has these sleeves on each side for different tool attachments. And what works for me in my environment is I have an ink pen on one side, and not just any ink pen, it's a space pen. And the reason I use space pen is because it's small, I can get refills in a lot of places, and it's the only ink pen that I have found that will hold up to the extreme conditions for a firefighter. Heat just does not do well with ink pens, and you'll ruin a lot of good clothes. I have not had a space pen explode on me yet. And the other side is a ferro rod, and it just has one of these little hairband ties at the top of it. You can either put it in the loop and take it and pull it down over the end, and I did that for years, but it did start to stretch this material on the side because that material is kind of a stretchy man-made material. It's not leather like the rest of the case. So what I did when I bought my new case was I just started running it over the top like this and then slid it down in the sleeve. And even though I've never had one fall out, I don't want to, because like I said, when things get rough and you're going to need that fire starter, it probably was not conditions to where you were just walking down the street. When that thing flips over and turns upside down and all, I want something to retain it. And you could use paracord or fire cord or whatever you wanted for that retaining strap. Okay, so you hear a lot of people out there that say don't carry your fire steel on your knives. Why not? I don't get it. My knife is attached to my body. It's permanently affixed to me. The only way it's coming off is if I lose my belt, and if I lost my belt during something went on where I got my belt ripped off of my pants. I don't know. I don't know that fire is going to be the issue at that point. So I like having a fire steel on my knife. I try not to make this my primary fire steel. It's always a backup, but I do use the fire steel on my belts quite a bit, just when I'm out training and when I'm out camping and having a good time. When I was hiking up on the Appalachian Trail, my fire steel was on my knife, and it worked out very well. And you can always combine the two if you want to have your fire steel built into your knife rather than carry it on your sheath, by going with the Light My Fire more combination knife, and you have both of those attached with you. And I do that sometimes when I'm out on the trap line because I use that knife for some of my skinning and trapping tasks. I think it makes a really good blade for that. So that's a couple of ways, either attached in the sheath in my Leatherman tool or attached to my knife. Now sometimes I sport a knife like I am right here today. This is the Pathfinder Scorpion, and this sheath does not have a place for a Ferro rod. So all I've done is I've taken a ferro rod, and this is the one that I carry a lot of times when I'm, like now, it's hunting season and I'm going to be out in the woods all day. So since I don't have one attached to my knife, I just drilled a hole through this thing and put a leather thong through it. And like I said, you could use fire cord or 550 cord or bank line or whatever you wanted to use. And I hooked this to my body in some way. I had it run through my belt loop. Another way you can do it is you just pass it through the loop where your belt attaches to your sheath, and that way it's back attached to your sheath, and then you just stick it in your pocket like that. That will work. But what I usually do is I just run it either underneath my belt or around my belt loop. But if I'm out using it in a class, I'll just slip it in my pocket, and a lot of times I don't carry a regular keychain. I carry a hook. This is a stainless steel hook, and I'll just slip it on there and clip it in, and it does a really fine job of retaining that. But yet when I get ready to use it again, I just snap it off, and I don't have to do a lot of weaving through my belt. So that's the way I carry my 1/2 inch fire rod on my person. Then we have my belt pouch. If I'm out practicing bushcraft, or if I'm out and I'm hunting, like today, while I'm hunting, or when I'm working a trap line, anytime I'm out in the woods, I have a belt pouch attached to my body. So my knife and this are on me at all times. And I've got a video on what's contained within this pouch, but you can go back and watch that. It's called my belt pouch. But one side is my diagnostic equipment that I need for diabetes. The other side is a small fire kit, and there's a ferro rod in that. I have some fast energy in the form of these sport beans. The space pen that I'm so fond of. A compass and a cap for my insulin pump. And a piece of bank line with some cordage. So this is just another way that I can keep a fire kit on me, and just one more way that the ferrocerium rod can actually be attached to my body. Alright, so that covers my haversack, or my belt kit. So let's talk about my haversack, the other thing that I wear when I'm going out hunting. Now, like today, when I'm going out, I don't carry a whole lot because I'm parking real close to my stand, or a lot of times where I go and I practice my bushcraft, the road goes right to where I'm camping at. I don't have to hike in a long ways. So when I'm out in deer stand, I don't want to be carrying a whole lot of stuff, so I keep it pretty simple. I've got some water and my headlamp and some toilet paper in there, which is multi-purpose, and I've got my Leatherman tool in there, which we've already covered. But attached through this neck lanyard to the shoulder strap is this leather sheath, and inside of it, it has a 1/2 inch by 6 inch soft ferrocerium rod from the Self-Reliance Outfitters. And that's a nice rod, and that fits right in there. And if I decide that I'm going to be using it, I can just take that off and hang that lanyard around my neck while I'm out doing whatever I need to do. So my haversack would also, that's the same method that I use in a backpack. So let's say you just need something to just put in your pocket. Well, sometimes I do that too. Oh, it's laying down here on the table. So if you need something to just throw in your pocket, you know, these little fire steels from firesteels.com, they work really great. You can carry just the fire steel, or you can carry the whole combination. But if you take these and you wrap the lanyard around them and then fold it under itself in a clove hitch and pull it tight, it'll stay about the size of a full-size big lighter. So it's really not a whole lot of difference as far as what's in your pockets. One of the last ways is in a kit or a backpack or a bushcraft kit where, or let's say a vehicle kit where I need an emergency fire starter. But this is mostly for a bag. This is the Strike Force, which has the tender in one end, the built-in purposeful scraper, and the ferrocerium rod, which is a 1/2 inch by about 1 3/4 inches, and it's a hard makeup, so it'll last you a really long time. I try to keep this coated and in good shape, and that's the one that I prefer to keep inside of a long-term storage kit. So there's just a couple of different ways that you can actually keep your Ferro kit with you, whether it be on your person, in a fire kit, haversack, belt pouch, or a backpack, or maybe even a car kit or a long-term bag. So I hope this helps you. It was good bringing it to you, and I'm gonna go out and enjoy some of this beautiful fall day and spend a little bit of time in the woods. So until next time, I'm Tim Langston with Red Dog Bushcraft, home of global safety and survival. God bless, guys.